Says it's starting. So, there we go. Greetings, guys. This is the YouTube channel Fun and Opinions. Ironically, this episode is called Two Robs Walk Into a Podcast. I'm Rob number one. And Rob number two is my guest for the day.
Your esteemed colleague, is that what we're going with?
Yeah, that works. The esteemed colleague. Cracking a cold beverage for this one. Shock top.
I forgot to grab beer, so none for me, I guess.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
So what you up to?
Well, for the night, I'm just hanging out. I'm probably going to do some fishing later. I think is the game plan. Hopefully catch a shark tonight or whatnot like that. But that's about it, man. We've been doing a lot of fishing on the weekends, man. Catching some sharks, bull sharks, and my buddy Danny caught a cobia. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of just living the Florida life, really, man. And then wrestling and stuff here and there. Wrestling May 17th.
Nice.
That's it.
I just got done whacking off.
At least you didn't do it on camera.
I could. Should I?
I wouldn't recommend it, man.
Well,
I would not recommend it.
you always gotta appease the fucking censors.
Well, or appease the YouTube guidelines. I don't want it to be one of those channels where we get banned for doing inappropriate things. But
they're not gonna get pissed about me fucking cussing, are they?
No, you can cuss. You can cuss on my channel. We are a non-censorship channel as far as language and other things go.
That's right. First Amendment, and I practice it. Goddammit. You said you were going fishing. You ever whack off on a fish?
Can't say that I have. Cannot say that I have.
Well, I think you need to give it a try.
I mean, I don't know if I would give it a try per se, but now someone's going to listen to this and they're going to get inspired to do that. And if they get busted, that's on you.
I was watching this video. This is years and years ago, and it was like don't know if they were Russian dudes or Ukrainian dudes. I'll make that distinction since I don't know the difference, nor do I care. But they caught this fish, and like this, I swear to God, I watched this video. This is years ago. Don't ask me why I watch it. I guess I'm just a fucked up individual. But it was like one of them sucker fish. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. I can't think of the name of it. My wife would, if she was out here, she would know the Pagosimus or something like that. Pagosimus, something like that. That's like the correct name for it.
I'm only into marine fish. But anyway, so one of these dudes, they whip their cock out and they stuff it in this fish's mouth. And it's like ridiculous. And they're laughing and goofing off. And you're just kind of thinking to yourself, oh, this is weird. Why is this guy doing this? And then you could see that he was getting some real fucking jolliment. He's getting some fucking jolliment from it. And like he started like to get ready to come or something. And that's when I had to turn the video off because that's when it got a little too far in. Because that's a long story short. That dude raped that fish. So
yeah, I mean, that's pretty weird. Why would you even come across that thing and think that's a brilliant idea to even watch?
Oh, well, sometimes things just pop up, and when you've seen everything in the world, you got to experience new things regardless of what they are, What is life if not but fresh experience?
I mean, depending on what you're trying to experience. How about you? How's your beard looking these days, man?
It's kind of scraggly. I mess with it all the time. Well, it's not scraggly. I mean, it's fine. But I do like the Jim Neidhart deal where I'm stroking it all the time. Other things I stroke as well. But the beard. And it pulls out and it breaks, even though I use the biotin and stuff. I probably need to trim it up and let it get healthy again.
I got you on that. That's why I figured I would toy. I had my crazy beard for a while, but I figured I would change it up a little bit, and I've been really jamming some System of a Down lately, and Chavo has the beard like braided up and stuff, and I always thought that was kind of a cool look. So I kind of tied it up the other day, and then it kind of formed into, if I shaved everything off and maybe eventually tie it up sometimes, I might look a little crazy.
Well, do you use like a beard comb, like the wooden comb, or do you just use like a hairbrush?
I use a beard comb. Use the
See,
beard comb.
I do too, and I think I need to quit because the beard comb can be a little bit aggressive sometimes. Like if you get tangles, you hit a tangle a couple times and you either break it or you rip it out or whatever. So I think I need to
Yeah.
just go back to using just like an old school hairbrush, like I did when I had long hair, and maybe that would preserve the old beard a little bit better, so it
Uh,
stays a little healthier.
yeah, I mean, you could try it. You use any beard oil or anything like that?
I've got it, but very seldom do I remember to put it in unless I'm like if I go somewhere, if we're going out to dinner or something, maybe I'll get some beard oil and put it in there and brush it out. And I've got a what do you call it? Like a beard straightener, that heats it and straightens it out and makes it look nice. Like if we're going somewhere to like a nice dinner or something, I might do that. But otherwise, I don't bother.
I gotcha. Yeah, if we're going somewhere, I usually brush it out or whatever. But I don't put the oil really in it. But when I take a shower and stuff, I use my beard shampoo and all kinds of stuff. But I use that the what's that brand? Wild Willie's brand had like the biotin and the caffeine and all that stuff in there. So I kind of groove on that. Plus, it smells good. Or the Cremo brand is pretty good too.
I've
Like
got
the
a few
like
different.
bourbon vanilla.
I don't have that one. We got a few different beard shampoos, but honestly, I kind of got away from them simply because most of the ones that I've got, they don't build a good lather. So, I mean, which is fine if your beard's a little bit shorter, but if it's as long as mine is at this point and just as wild, if you don't get a good lather, you're just sitting there, you're dry fucking, you're just sitting there trying to scrub a dry, non-lathered dick beard.
Yeah, no, I get you on that. Yeah, I just try to keep it nice and clean and fresh, man. Like this is, it feels weird. Like you walk by and look in the mirror and you go, "Holy crap, my beard's gone."
Well, you still
Like a
got
big
the
portion
goatee,
of the
though. It's
beard is
almost
gone.
bad.
What's up?
You still got the goatee, though. It looks good. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
said, you
yeah.
look like Gary King at the
I'll
bald
take it as a
head.
compliment. Yeah, I just shaved the head. Well, my wife shaved my head this morning.
See, your
So,
hair's
well,
still thick, so you could go nuts and put a tattoo on your head and then cover it back up. Like,
I,
like,
I
like, like
technically I could do that, like a Bam Bam Bigelow flame tattoo,
yeah.
and then people would really think I'm a biker. Like I was at work the other day and I had my beard out and as such as, and this random guy walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, are you a biker? You must have a motorcycle." I went, "No, I don't have a motorcycle, man." Like you can just get that. Like people are like more, I think, inclined to want to talk to you if you have a long beard, I guess, which is not my inspiration for growing a beard. I always was like, oh, I wonder if I can grow a beard and see how it goes. And then turns out I can grow a pretty goddamn good beard. So
But you got to play it up when they ask you questions like that. Instead of saying, no, 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 I don't got a bike. You just go, yeah, man, I got two or three of them. I go, and then you got to turn around. You got to go, oh, yeah. You turn around and go, yeah, what do you ride? And then no matter what he says, you just go, you fucking cocksucker. You just turn it around on him. Like if he says, yeah, I drive a Harley, you fucking chauvinist pig. I only drive Jap bikes. And if he says, I drive a Honda, you go, you fucking turncoat. I only ride a Harley. Get the fuck out of my sight, you cocksucker. So that's what you got to say to him.
and then the guy proceeds to get offended, and then I either headbutt him or give him a nice stiff chop, wrestling style.
You can chop him or, you can fuck him in the ass, whatever you got to do.
Not gonna do that, but a
Yeah,
nice stiff, a nice stiff chop might slow him down, perhaps.
it might, or he might just no sell it and bite off your Johnson.
Well, he have to get close enough to do that, or get really like what be like the scene from The Big Lebowski where Walter bites the guy's ear off when he got close to him, where Donnie was like having a heart attack or whatever it was, and then Walter was like he bites off one of the Nazi's ears or whatever. Yeah, right. Or what's
Or
the correct word?
it's the scene where he catches you in the bathtub, but he threatens to cut off your Johnson.
I haven't watched that movie in a while. Have you watched the supposed second one?
Yeah, I never did. I mean, I don't know. It's not the same without the dude.
I agree. Or Walter,
Plus,
or Donnie. Well, I think it's like it's
he's a
one of those
pederast.
weird prequel things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It tell the story about how he became a pederast.
I'm sure they sneak that in at the end per se, but it's one of those things to where I've never really met a good prequel movie that I liked. You know what I'm saying? Like, Some shit should just be left alone. If you're not going to follow up with a decent sequel of a movie, I don't need a prequel. I don't need how they met, how they did whatever. I don't need none of that. If you're not going to include that in the first movie that you're making, what's the point?
I'll contradict you on that. The second Monsters Inc. movie was a prequel, I think, wasn't it? And it was pretty good.
I think so. I think they did like the whole college thing or something.
Yeah. With
The
that said,
Monsters.
it wasn't as good, but it was still pretty good.
Yeah, I got you on that. I only seen it once, man. I only seen it once, and I've never gone back to watch it. I might have to watch it again. It has John Goodman in it,
Yeah.
and I can't think of the other guy's name.
Billy Crystal.
Yeah, Billy Crystal.
I
I've
end up
only
watching
seen a
that stuff all
couple.
the time because the kids they got Disney Plus, so the kids put any kind of Disney movie on all the time or Pixar
Yeah,
movie,
I
whatever.
got you. I haven't seen a Billy Crystal movie. I think I've only seen a couple. I think I seen like the Gold Rush movies he was in with like the dude from Home Alone.
Oh, City Slickers.
Yeah, yeah. City Slickers one and
Yeah.
2,
The second
and then
one in particular was awesome.
My Giant, and then Monsters Inc. and the other one is probably the only Billy Crystal movies I've ever seen.
He's in The Princess Bride too.
I've never seen it. I think
What?
I've never seen it, but I think Andre does that line. Anybody want a peanut? Right? Isn't that him?
I think so. Yeah, I think there's a line like that in there. I haven't seen it in years, but I've got it on Blu-ray. I mean, I've seen it, several times over the years.
Never seen Princess Bride. I've seen maybe like little clips and stuff here and there, if like on YouTube or something. If it like wanders onto the podcast, like onto the screen. But I've never gone out of my way to just watch the movie.
No, it's a good movie. You should watch it sometime.
Yeah,
And
but I gotta get motivated to like watch it. And sometimes, like I just watched Indiana Jones for the first time, like 2 weeks ago.
like the original Indiana Jones.
Like the original. I've never seen any of the Indiana Jones movies in my life.
It's like literally my favorite movie franchise ever.
And I watched the first one and I was like, it's kind of one of those weird movies where if it looks really old, it's kind of weird to like watch. But it was like 4K on Disney Plus. They redid everything and they did all that stuff. So it was kind of like pretty cool. So
I mean, most people will tell you that the first one, Raiders of the Lost Ark, is the best, and it's hard to argue. But all of the original three are good, and my favorite's The Last Crusade with Sean Connery. So you definitely got to watch them. And in fact, you can kind of watch them out of order because the stories are different, like completely different.
yeah,
So it doesn't really matter.
I think my wife liked them, Aaron. I think she really liked the movie. I'm not sure if she liked it enough to want to watch another one, Indiana Jones.
Blasphemy, I say.
We are going on a quick travel. So this is now a traveling podcast.
Oh, what are you doing? You gotta go whack off?
I'm not doing that, but going to my friend's house. We're going to do a little bit of fishing. But I'm still going to stay on the line here.
Getting fishing already? It's still light. 7:30 about.
Well, the sun sets here at like 8 o'clock or something.
It's about the same here, although it's dark as hell because it's storming out right now. Storming yesterday, storming today.
Oh yeah, it's not storming here. It's been pretty nice. I think it stormed. I keep it on here on a podcast. Hey. But yeah, it's not.
Uh-oh. Looks like you're locked up.
I'm back.
Okay.
Back.
I was gonna say.
It was connected to my Wi-Fi, and I just left the house, so I had to disconnect the Wi-Fi for a minute. So yeah,
I was gonna say nobody wants me running this shit. Every third word will be cock.
Everybody would be like, "All right, we're tuning out. This guy's too bizarre for."
Brock has good stories.
My wife put you over. She said you have good stories.
Oh, there's plenty of stories. I mean,
Plenty of stories. But would you? But back to the Indiana Jones thing. Would you recommend the second one?
I'd recommend any of the original three. I mean, you can't go wrong. The second one is probably the weakest link of the original three, just because like the first one and the third one, it's about basically Christian relics, the Ark of the Covenant, and the Cup of Christ, and it's about Nazis. So it's like it's an easy bad guy. You know, it just flows together real well. Whereas the second one is kind of about like Hindu mythology, and it's a little, it's a little different. But there's also scenes that are in the second one that are badass. Like, first of all, Harrison Ford was probably in the best shape ever for that movie. That's probably his best physique ever was Temple of Doom. And there's a scene after, like, long story short, I won't try to spoil anything, but he gets like fucked up in the head and he's like doing shit, and when he comes back to his senses, he like goes into badass mode, and it's like one of the greatest like chill up your spine scenes ever when he goes into badass mode, and the music that plays with it. Yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, you really can't go wrong. It's a great movie.
Well, we'll have to check one out. What do you think? You want to go down that rabbit hole? Like, sometimes we like going down that rabbit hole of movies that have good trilogies, and
Oh, it most certainly is that.
and we just binge watched like the whole series. We did like Back to the Future, the Maze Runner movies. You ever watch the Maze Runner movies?
No.
Oh man, you would love them. They're awesome. I'm not sure where you can stream them at, but they are like super awesome. Like, movies.
What's the gist of it?
Basically, a bunch
Is it
of
based
people.
on like a kid's book or something?
I'm not sure it's based on a kid's book, but it's more so like a bunch of kids or whatever like that are like held prisoner or whatever like that, and they can't like go past this wall. And if they do, for them to get free, they literally have to figure out a whole way out of a maze. And there's like crazy bugs and booby traps and all kinds of crazy stuff like that in the thing. But there's a whole bunch of them. You got it?
That's kind of like those not the same thing exactly, but like those Hunger Games movies.
Yeah,
I bought all those for Heather on Blu-ray, and I think she's watched them all, and I've maybe seen a couple of them or parts of them. They're okay.
I don't remember much of them. My wife really liked them though. And then they just remade it. They just remade it with like a prequel or something like that.
I think I heard something about that. She's been watching the Harry Potters over again with the kids, and what was it? This is several months ago, but we ended up going to Charleston. Was it Charleston? No, Parkersburg. We went to Parkersburg and took the kids because they had the first Harry Potter movie in 3D, and it was one of the cool theaters that's got like the reclining seats and everything, and it was actually pretty cool. I think it was pretty cheap too. I mean, I think out the door we might have spent like $40 or something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
But the kids didn't really like the 3D. They said it gave them a headache, which is funny because that's what 3D does to me too. But it wasn't really about me.
Yeah, but do you got to wear like a 3D glasses?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've never even heard of like a 3D Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty cool. I mean the way that they had done the effects and all that stuff. Not my jam particularly, but
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm one of those people to where like it has to catch me off the beginning, or like trying to like focus on a 3-hour movie where there's just all over the place with shit. I kind of lose my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Be honest with you, I was gonna say I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a movie, but I probably just did. It was probably Harry Potter. That's probably the last time I've seen a movie. Before that, we did go see Beetlejuice, which was, it was okay.
I haven't seen any of the Beetlejuices.
You never seen the original Beetlejuice?
No, never in my life.
Jesus, tap dancing Christ!
I never even seen E.T., man.
Everybody talks about E.T. I've seen it, of course, but like, I can take it or leave it. I have a feeling you'd really like E.T. because you're kind of like, I got a feeling you would like it. But Beetlejuice, goddamn, son, you got to watch Beetlejuice. It was like Michael Keaton's, some of his best stuff ever. There's just some classic scenes and just hilarious shit.
I like Michael Keaton. I like Michael Keaton. I haven't seen many of his movies. I've seen him in the Batman movie, Multiplicity, which is probably my favorite movie that he's ever done. That's where he like cloned himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that movie a lot. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's probably my favorite lesser known Michael Keaton movie. Not everybody knows that movie, but like, yeah, you got to watch Beetlejuice. Like, legitimately, the Beetlejuice character, the gimmick is like one of the best ever. Like, you'd be stealing shit for promos and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like it's classic.
I know as a kid, my dad had one of the Beetlejuice like talking figures where you let back in the day, you'd pull the string out their back and it'd be like, yeah, I could say it shit. I would say a Beetlejuice line, but I don't even know what any line from the movie. What's something that he says that you could just pull a quote out of? Does he have like a short saying?
I mean, he had different things he said. Like, you know, he had the scene where he's sitting there going, "Hey, I'm the ghost with the most bib." You know, he had a lot of just one-liners and stuff like that. But
What one-liners are where it's at, honestly. Like if you can steal like a sweet one-liner and sneak it in real life, you do that. You know?
not even just like the one-liners, but just like some of the physical comedy. Like there's a scene in it where, you know, he's trying to get the ghost in the movie. I'm trying not to spoil anything because you totally have to watch it now. But like, they basically try to hire him to get rid of the people that went into their house, and they're talking amongst themselves. They're not sure if they want to hire him or not. And he goes, "Oh, that's fine. Talk amongst yourself." And as soon as he turns off, he starts like doing like the stroke your dick motion, and just like the attitude, it's just like such a great character.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I know they just remastered that, and then there's a second one, which is supposedly supposed to be good. I don't know.
It was okay. It could have been good, and parts of it were good, but like it's like they tried to make 3 different movies and tell 3 different stories, and they never really completely told even one of them. So there's just like it's fine. If you're like a big Beetlejuice fan, it's like it falls way short. But Michael Keaton was good.
Yeah, I got you on that. Yeah, I think and then with the Michael Keaton though. You ever watch the McDonald's movie that he did, where he plays like the guy who made McDonald's?
Yeah, I've seen that. It's a good movie.
It's good, man. It's good. Hey, we actually have a viewer, so shout out to the viewer, whoever you are. Feel free to comment and say greetings or whatever. Yeah,
get him out of here.
Yeah,
we don't need anybody to listen to us talk. I'm gonna feel pressured to like not swear. Whoever you are, fuck off.
Why feel the pressure? Fuck them. It's like back in the day. But did you when you were wrestling back in the day? Didn't you like that pressure of tons of people watching you?
No.
No.
Well, it depends. Like when we had our first match, like just knowing what we were gonna do, you know, and that we had time to put in. It's like the first match I ever had. It's the main event, and I already knew I was getting color. So like, yeah, you know, I was just about sick to my stomach. Of course, as soon as you walk out, it all goes away because you don't have time to think about it.
Oh, that's like me. Like I'm wrestling in 2 weeks. I'm gonna be nervous as shit the entire day, and then once I'm in the ring, everything disappears, and I'm in a whole different mindset of shit. Which the crazy thing is, I mentioned this earlier, is May 5th will be my 18th year of like since I had my first match. 18 years is like madness to me.
That's madness. It's funny too because like as time went on, like by the time I had my last couple of matches, like I felt no pressure at all. Which your dad's probably right because he always used to say that like once you're at that point, like you're pretty much done because you don't care anymore. And I don't know if I totally agree. I mean, I definitely didn't care as much, but part of it's also confidence because you're like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do my stuff, and it'll be fine. But probably he's right. You're not going to have a great match unless you, you know, have something up your ass to perform.
No, and I fully agree. Like,
I'm jealous.
I'm still nervous all the time.
I wish I could have a couple more. Maybe I'll be able to, you know, depending on what happens with my back. But
yeah. You just got to figure out if you come back for a match who you want to work with. So,
well, I wouldn't probably just come back for one. I mean, like I'm gonna have back surgery. That part's inevitable. The question will be, will it be a successful surgery and actually fix me to where I can do what I need to do, or will it just be one of those that just kind of fixes it and gets me by, and I can't, I won't be able to wrestle after that. That will be the factor. But
Yeah.
long story short, if it fixes me good enough to have one match, then I'm going to go ahead and say that it fixes me good enough to have a few. So I will just have my last little fun. I'd like to wrestle you one more time just to say that we did it. And that's the
Yeah.
other thing. I mean, I wouldn't wrestle again unless I can get back in the shape I want to be in. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
the
and I
other
get
part of the
that.
factor. I mean, I've said it before, like the one guy who I actually have my last match with, if I were to be able to do so, that's neither here nor there. Doesn't really matter who the final one is. I would like to, like I said, I'd like to wrestle you again. I'd like to wrestle Mike. Me and Mike only wrestled. We've tag teamed a bunch, but me and Mike only wrestled one time, and
Yeah.
we had a good match. I'd like to wrestle Luke and Rich, but that's not going to happen. I mean, like Luke is. I haven't talked to Luke or Rich in quite a while, probably a couple years, really. But I still.
I think Luke deleted his Facebook. Maybe,
He
I'm
may
not
have.
sure.
He may have. He didn't.
Rich is still on there though.
Yeah, I probably talked to Luke maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Like, I bet it's longer than that because I've been gone 4, and I believe I talked to him right before I left. And I was maybe thinking about trying to find a way to get together with him before I left, but that didn't work out. And Rich, I've talked to a little bit because, he's a personal trainer and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but I never had a match with Rich 1-on-1, and I'd like to have a match with him too. But you, Mike, either of the James boys or both.
We almost
But
did it.
again, I don't think that'll work out with them. But
We almost had a tag match with them forever
yeah, I
ago.
mean, we tried to get that together a million times, and nobody wanted to book it at the time. But
We even went as far as like cutting promos and going in that realm of like things. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
they suck so much cock it makes me sick.
yeah, I think you got that video still on
Yeah.
YouTube.
It's still exists. That's right.
It's hilarious.
It's one of the best bullshit comedy promos ever, and it's all 2 seconds long. I'll tell you who else too. And your dad may listen to it, and he knows I love him. But I know your dad doesn't do too much anymore, but he's still wrestling a little bit. I'd still like to wrestle your dad once before it's all said and done. It
There you go.
probably won't happen, but because if I am able to wrestle again, it won't. No matter what, it won't be for another couple years, and your
Yeah.
dad probably won't be wanting to do it into that. But
Yeah, you never know. Shit,
you
he's
never know.
wrestling.
We can
He's
throw
wrestling.
punches and bleed.
There you go. He's wrestling Cuban Assassin. I think in 2
I
weeks.
saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
On 2 separate shows.
The one guy that I'd like to wrestle, just because I'd like to have like a really good match that I've never had before.
Necro
I've said it
Butcher?
before. No.
No.
Brian Brock, Leo
Oh, yeah,
Bryan
yeah.
with them, because we've wrestled against each other in tag teams when he was real green. We may have tag teamed together. I don't think so though, because I was usually a heel at the time. So I don't think so. But he's come a long way, and his style is so much like mine used to be. He's kind of like the newer version of me. It'd be a blast. We'd just be brawling in blood. But that, if I had to name one guy, to go out, if it wasn't like one of you guys or whatever, it'd be Brian. One guy that's actively wrestling anyway, it would be Brian.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, and he's good. So like I haven't seen his stuff recently, but I remember when he first started, which is probably 10 years ago at this point, maybe that.
Probably
longer than that. Probably longer than that. It's crazy how time flies when you put things in perspective of different things. Like sometimes some things feel like yesterday, and then some things feel like forever ago. Like I remember being young and dumb and wrestling. I remember being young and dumb and having our matches and taking stupid, ridiculous bumps.
It's on the subject. I would love to wrestle Jerome one more time, but I don't think he's wrestled in years. I mean, he's older than me by probably 5 or 6 years, so he's probably damn near 50 at this point. So I'm pretty sure he's probably done. But if he wanted to play one more time, he was my favorite. Jerome, if you ever hear this, you are my favorite ever to wrestle with. I had so many good matches with you.
Well, but, hopefully he's going to dig in. He's supposed to come down to one of the Twisted Wrestling Alliance shows, and maybe that'll inspire him to get in the ring.
Well, for real, if you see him, tell him I said hi. I mean, I talk to him every once in a while on Facebook. We catch up every. It's like you said, you lose track of time. I mean, I say, oh yeah, I talked to Jerome a little while ago. I bet it's been 4 or 5 years since I talked to Jerome. It doesn't
Yeah,
seem like it.
probably.
It doesn't seem like it. But well, that's the thing. Like we've been up here for 4 years. We're going on our 5th year of being up here, which is fucking nuts to me. But yeah, that's the way it is. I mean, that's how long we've been up here.
You go, hey Brian, Brian, shout out to Brian. He's watching right now. So hey, we got a
Oh,
viewer
really?
back. So yeah, I wrestled Jerome, hell, probably 15 years ago. I did a tag match with him. So me and I don't even know who I tagged with. Some young kid at the time we tagged with against him, and he was teaming with Morrison, and we worked a tag match. And I think you were in some like multi-man bullshit match. I think that's where you got like
Probably.
knocked out or whatever at that, or not knocked out, but it was some huge like
Oh, was that it?
abomination
Like,
of stuff. It was in Tampa or some shit like that.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I tag teamed. Who was I with? I think I tag teamed with Gary Thunder, and
Torture,
I
torture.
worked Torture and Kubiak. And Kubiak hit, I was standing on the apron. We go into the finish. I go like to get into the ring, and he comes and forearms me. Kubiak, I'm talking about, and
Yeah,
he hit me in the neck with a forearm so hard he knocked me off the apron. I didn't take a bump. He knocked me off the apron. He hit me in the neck, and I went gray and like pretty much knocked me out. That's one of the hardest times I've ever been hit. But yeah, I worked with Kubiak and Torture in that match, and that's
was
the
that?
only thing. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, was that a welcome to the business kid?
Probably it was probably my first year, maybe
Yeah,
maybe the first couple years, but yeah, I got hit hard. That was the hardest I'd ever been hit at that point.
I'm trying to think of the hardest I've been hit. I don't know. Maybe not hit, but I've gave you some headbutts and stuff in the past. But I,
Yeah, that one match that we had where you got pissed at me, probably rightfully so. But I remember I threw 3 punches and they were really good punches, and they might have even been a little bit snug. But then on the third one, I was going to do something else, and you were just going to like fuck this, and you headbutted me, and it was so stiff.
well, I think it was one of those things to where like someone was in the back was giving you advice, and
Yeah,
it was
I was told I shouldn't sell for you,
yeah. I was gonna say
it was from somebody that we all know and respected at the time, and I heeded the advice, and probably should. I see where he was coming from, but you got to kind of feather the line. And when I explained it to you, it came across more hurtful than I intended it to. It wasn't, I wasn't like, I'm not going to sew for you, motherfucker. It was just kind of like, yeah, so and so said, and I won't name who, but
yeah.
so and so
No need to name who.
but so and so said, oh, you're too big to be selling for him. So and the funny thing was, it was actually one of the better matches that we had, probably because there was a little bit of, not
Stiffness?
heat, but temporary heat.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and the funny thing is you made me sell enough, but I didn't just sell like I normally would. So there was something to be said for that argument. But one of the things I remember about that match is I remember you remember this, I'm sure too. But I was standing on the outside and you jumped off with a crossbody and I caught you.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
I caught you in the crossbody, threw you up on my shoulders, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll hit the F5 out on the floor. And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to hit my finish out on the floor. It's too soon for that. I'm not ready for that. And I'm like, shit, I've got you on my shoulders. What am I going to do? And I remember I just whispered to you, I got nothing. So it's a Death Valley driver. And I dumped you right on your head with a Death Valley driver outside. I have no idea why I did that. It was stupid, but it looked good. It probably hurt. But
Yeah, I remember it didn't feel too good, and I just remember. Well, I guess it was payback for the stiff headbutt.
I remember the only thing I remember for sure is I knew I took care of your neck and head, but probably your back went splat. I'm sure it did.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I just remember having the wind knocked out of me, and then I'm not sure who was repping, but I remember it was like shit. I gotta try to make the ring count because they're counting to like 10, and I'm like, all right, well, here we go.
You got a receipt back on me too, because when you hit me with the swan, because you went over in that match. So when you hit me with the
I have
swanton,
no recollection of going over. I
you did.
I wish we had video footage. You got photos of it on your Facebook somewhere of you catching me from the
Yeah.
crossbody, and I'm on your back. You probably have the footage on your old camcorder gimmick somewhere.
I do. I have all that stuff somewhere in a box. The only problem is I don't even know how you would. I know the camera doesn't work anymore, but I do still have the tapes. Now, they're all in the little plastic cases. So, I mean, in theory, they shouldn't be ruined or anything. But at the same time, I have no idea how you even. There were those like mini cassettes. I don't even know how you get that stuff
I
off of
think
there anymore.
you can take them to like a place and get them done. I mean, I thought hell, Walmart might actually do like the development stuff where they send it to an outside company or something like that. But
You've mentioned that to me for years, having those converted, and I've always I'm gonna shoot straight with you because you've always said, "Hey man, I'll even pay for it. Go ahead." And there's only one problem with that. I'm going to tell you for the first time what that problem actually is. In between
you got tapes on there that you don't want no one else to see.
That's right.
I knew it.
There's tapes would be fucking random broads on there.
Well, that's why I don't need. That's why I don't need you to send me tapes like that. They're supposed to be wrestling tapes, not your old sex tapes. You dirty fuck.
If it's like a 2-hour tape, match is only 15, 20 minutes, buddy. So, and to pat myself on the back, I can go a lot longer in the bedroom than I can in the ring.
Especially these days, right?
Well, no, not these days. I can't do either these days. I get blown up fucking whacking off.
Well, that's a yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying, let's say how it is. What do you want me to do?
But shit, there's some gold on those tapes, man.
Well, at least gold to look back and go, oh man, that was not as good as we thought it was.
Well, I mean, maybe it's better to just have the memory in our brain of the match was good versus whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Well, some of the ones that there's one on there that I'm pretty sure the one that I had with Luca is on there, and I'd love to see that again. I know there's one I did the first time I ever wrestled George Rodriguez is on there. And he was another guy that I had great matches with, big guy matches, big guy versus big guy matches. And that's on there, and it's a really good match. But I remember the video. I don't know if it got a crinkle in the tape or whatever, but it was a little bit corrupted. So that when I uploaded that, it never came out super great. And there's a bunch of matches with you and me on there, but unfortunately, never like our best ones. Like the two, you still there? Or did I lose you?
I'm here. Okay. I'm here.
Like the two, I don't know if you'd say they're the two best matches that we ever had, but our first match, just because we knew what we were doing and we planned it for so long. And even though once we got in the ring, we were working, we still had a layout that we knew what we were going to do. That was a really good match for what it was.
Which match is that?
The first match, the Street Fighter, whatever it was, where I gigged to the bone and all that was one of the better ones that we had. And the one that I know I don't have on tape, and I wish I did, is the one that we had in Nashville. That was probably the best match we ever had, where I actually went over in that match with a German suplex because Mike suggested, he goes, "Hey, you want to do a finish that nobody's ever going to do?" I go, "Sure." And he's like, "You go over with a German suplex." And we ended up doing that. That was probably our best match that we ever had. Like, we got put over for that match. We got people pissed at us. Some of the locals were pissed at us for that match because we kind of, not to pat ourselves on the back or sound like an arrogant prick, but we kind of outshined everybody, so, or at least that's my perspective. I'm telling the story. So,
well, but that's the thing though, that you should try to outshine everybody on a show. I mean, your goal should be to have the best match on the show, regardless of what position you're in. If you're not showing up to bust your ass at work, then what are you doing there? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're in Nashville on a tour. You're supposed to be busting your ass up there.
But I digress. But yeah, I know I got a lot of matches on there, a lot of stuff, and some that I know were god awful, because we had some good matches and we had some terrible matches. You may remember it, or maybe you've blocked it out of your mind. But we were both probably only working for maybe a year and a half or something like that. It wasn't very long. It was like one of those first shows when we were trying to get booked anywhere and everywhere. It was one of those first shows that we were doing at that bar in Ruskin. And
I don't even remember. Oh, was that like the
ring was fucked up.
The Jose Diaz Memorial show we worked?
It may have been, but I was still
like
doing
outside.
the cowboy.
It was outside, right?
It was in the middle of August. It was like about 110 degrees. The ring was so hot you couldn't bump and sell. Like you had to bump and get up. The ropes sucked. I remember like going to hit the ropes and like the ring was just so janky that like when I hit the ropes, like it didn't shoot me at all. It gave me no resistance. I had to like, get myself, it was a bad match and I knew it was bad. And I remember going to your dad and I said, so, how was it? And he goes, well, you want me to lie to you? And I go, no. How was it? He goes, it fucking sucked. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
I think that was the outside show that was an outside show at one of the bars we did. And I remember, I think it was hot as hell. And I think it rained shortly before we went on too. So I think shit was wet.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I think it was wet a little bit too. I remember that because our match got delayed and we had to go out there and do that shit. I remember that. Right. Everything that could have went wrong in that match went wrong. Nothing, whatever was.
It was piss poor.
I forgot all about that until you've actually said something. We worked each other so many times.
Well, the thing is, we did. And I only remember the really good ones, and I only remember the really bad ones. Anything in the middle was just kind of like, okay, yeah, But I remember the bad ones and the good ones.
I would like to go back and watch some of our oldest street fights from UWF and Ruskin that like Chris, Dr. Proctor, and Luke Sintel used to run. Those are always like my favorite shows to go to because we had free reign to kind of work how we wanted to work and we weren't really given much of a blueprint of what to do. It's kind of, oh, you want to do that? That's cool. Go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying?
I know some of them were better than others, but like I know
we did the chain match.
The chain match I remember being good overall. There were parts of it that were fucked up, and there were parts of it that were really good. I remember one of the things that was really good about that match is I did a second rope knee drop, and I never hit. I mean, theoretically, very dangerous move, but I just did it on the fly. Like you were down there, and I'm like, "Hey, don't move," and like it was perfect. And I've never done it since, and I never did it before, but it was perfect.
Well, hypothetically, you could have killed me. So,
well, right. It just was like an in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah,
the best one that we did in Ruskin anyway is that one where it's one of my favorite pictures that was ever taken of me while I was wrestling. The one where I'm covered in blood and I'm shooting the bird, and we actually used my outdoor canvas because they had just done the ring. They had just cleaned the ring apron, and I said, well, hey, we want to get color, so I'll bring my canvas and it'll protect the ring. So my canvas is in that shot, and that photographer, what was his name? Orlando.
Orlando.
He got some great photos, and he got that one where I'm looking him dead in the eye and shooting him the bird. That's still to this day probably my favorite photo.
I think that's the match you put me through the damn table on the concrete.
I think so.
And
I think it was
you pre-cut the damn table. My head bounced off the concrete, and I got knocked out. And I think I woke up to Luke Sintel and Chris Proctor pouring water on me.
What I did was, you got to gimmick the table because you were never going through it if I didn't gimmick it, because it had a metal frame on the bottom of it. So what I did was I cut the metal frame out so that you could go through. The problem therein was I overestimated how much support it would have without the frame. And the answer to that question was none.
None, yeah.
So yeah, when I power bombed you went right through. I mean, you went right through, banged your head off. There's a still photo somewhere.
Oh, I have it on my Facebook, I think, where my feet are in the air and I'm just going through the table and I'm just like, well, I'm dead.
That also was taken by that also was taken by that guy Orlando. And in fact, that particular match, he was on the ball because there was more good photos from that match than probably any other. Like there's one where like am I doing it? I'm doing it to you. I think I'm booting the chair into your
Oh
face.
yeah, that's an
That's a
awesome
great
one too.
photo.
Yeah,
There's one where you're throwing the chair at me. There's one where you're taking the chair in my hands because I'm dressed like Terry in that match. I'm
yeah.
dressed like Bunkhouse Terry, and I'm just sitting there with my arms down. I'm letting you jam the chair right in the side of my head. There's one of me doing a pile driver on a cookie sheet, and it's perfect midair shot. There's one where I'm doing a knee lift right to your face. There's a shit ton of great photos from that match.
Oh yeah, and then I did the swanton from the apron to the floor, and I think I had you move, and Orlando got the shot of me just jumping in the air. Orlando, I would say Orlando is one of the best photographers out there as far as wrestling. I don't even know if he's still doing it, but shout out to
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Orlando.
he did a great job. All those, so much so that like I believe I gave him his first ever paying gig when I ran that show at Harley. And he put me over huge for that. He was like so thankful. He's like, oh man, I do this stuff for fun for free. And I said, not today, you're not. I says, I want you to come and take photos. I said, but you're getting paid.
You know,
And he
I
was
don't know if
really thankful for that.
Orlando is still doing photos, but he was awesome, man. He was on point. He got the perfect shots of everything. And then
Great
us
job.
doing our occasional hardcore matches was what leaded him up to be able to get some awesome shots. I'm surprised we never managed to do like a no rope barbed wire match or a barbed wire board match or something crazy like that. You know.
Well, that was your shit. I don't necessarily want to get cut up. I mean, if you can get gimmick wire, I guess, but I don't. I got wrapped up in barbed wire when I was a kid, and the real shit is sharp enough to slice you to the bone. So
Well, yeah. Could gimmick it a little bit, right? Or
however
is
you
that
do that, I mean, I guess you cut the sharp.
is that frowned upon these days?
Shit, I think
So
everybody uses gimmick wire unless they're idiots.
yeah, I don't think Necro ever used gimmick wire though. Necro was crazy.
Well, that's some people are nuts. I mean, I think Terry's done it both ways, probably. Sabu obviously has done it both ways because
Yeah. Did you watch his last match by chance?
Huh?
Did you watch his last match by chance?
Didn't know it happened.
WrestleMania weekend, he did a no rope barbed wire match for his last match.
Who do you work with?
Joey Janela.
I don't know if I like that, but whatever.
It was by no means great, but Sabu took some horrendous bumps in the match into the wire, and I was like, oh shit, he's like 60, I think now, and I was like, god damn. But Sabu was a wild man all the time, man. Like, I think I always like doing that hardcore stuff occasionally because I always felt like it added the whole element of like survival mode, if that makes any sense. Like we're doing freaking like my kids are being crazy now, yelling random shit, but I don't even know what I was saying. Ah, shit, fuck me up. Oh, it was always like a element of survival. You know what I'm saying?
I suppose, yeah.
Like you'd always have like a little bit of realism or like whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it or like he's coming at me with a chair. Oh shit! And then it's like that fear of, all right, is he gonna waffle me and kill me with a chair, or is he gonna take care of me, or like whatever? I would feel like the element is more realistic or more real. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny talking about like chair shots and stuff. And this was like the last great bloodbath I ever had. Is I got booked to do those Collier County Fair shows. Gator B. Long was running them. And we did a 4-way deal. I don't know how we got put in that, but I think it was Gator B. Long, myself, Gary Thunder, and Torture. That sounds right. And Torture comes up, Steve. He comes up and he says, hey, I'm getting color tonight. Anybody else want to do it? And I says, you're getting color? And he goes, yeah. And I go, well, then I'm going to get color. So we both determined to get color. And we got color off of each other. So when it was, he got his first. And I picked up a chair and I go to swing it. And I said, please put your hands up, Steve. And I swung it hard. And he didn't. So I beat the shit out of him with a chair anyway. And anyway, he came up and he got a little color, and it wasn't like the best, but he had, good streak coming down the one eye. And then, we did a little deal. Can't even remember what we would have done in between, but then we did a deal where it's my turn. He goes, okay, your turn. And he goes, I'm going to whip that chair. I said, go ahead. And he whipped, he just whipped that chair, but I put my hands up. Yeah. I went to the people say Mick Foley always took it straight to the head. Nah, he didn't. He did when he wanted to, but he got smart at different times. He'd sneak his hand up. And he'd do it
for sure. Yeah, you put it perfectly.
Yeah, also did it really good, where he could sneak his hand up just right. And I learned to do that really well. So I took it. It looked just as good, and I didn't have a brutal headache afterward, as your dad would appreciate. He's the one that taught me, don't take that stupid shit to bed. But when I went down and I did the gig, I went. It was perfect because I didn't scar myself up real bad, but I did it just right, and blood was pouring down. So I won the gig battle anyway.
You never wanted to have a forehead like New Jack or Abby or anybody like that?
Well, preferably not. My phone's ringing, so I'm gonna go ahead and go like that there.
You missed it. It was like a Margaret run.
Oh, geez. Yeah, they're out here fishing. They're getting a big old run out there fishing. I don't know if I can. Oh, I just took myself off camera. I don't know how to actually turn myself around on here.
Well, we're just short of an hour. You want to go about another 5 minutes or so and then wrap it up so you guys can enjoy your evening, or?
Yeah, we could do that, man. We could do that.
Well, I got no life. I'll sit here and bullshit,
bullshit as long as I want to. Yeah, I got you on that.
It's for your YouTube channel, so that's fine. But I'm not even paying attention. I'm just talking to you. So
no, you're good. I'm just shooting this shit, man. You never wanted to have a big grotesque forehead though. That was never you never look back now and just go.
Not really. I mean, I've got my marks, on my forehead, and it's fine. It doesn't really.
Rob, hello, brother.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Just had a giant tarpon on, man. You guys got to check these fish out sometime.
I hear you, brother. Now Mike's calling me. I got to hang up on Mike for a minute. Well, I'll call him back after we're done.
Send him the podcast link. He can come on.
We're about done anyway. You guys need to get fishing and all that. But anyway, to finally answer the question, no, I never wanted a big gigged up forehead. I mean, I don't mind the few that I've got.
Yeah.
I wish I maybe would have been a little more careful, because it's funny. They didn't used to be as bad, but then when you start to age, everything wrinkles up more, and they've multiplied. With age, they've multiplied. Yeah. I wear my hat over it, but on the right side of my forehead, yeah, it's pretty gigged up over there. But it's what it is.
Yeah, I was never much of a gigger, which is
Well, to my knowledge, you only did it the one time, and I had to do it for you, and your mom was fucking pissed at me.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, in hindsight, I should have gigged more often. I mean,
But, you were living at home. You were only fucking 18, 19 or whatever when you started, so you're still living at home and shit. You had to deal with the consequences of hearing the shit.
True, but in hindsight, it's I should have bled to death at least once or twice in the ring with you.
Have the chief gig your forehead with that fucking tomahawk.
I mean, he's at this point he probably wants to. I've been running my mouth to the chief, so he probably wants to bring his tomahawk gimmick and carve me up like a Thanksgiving turkey. But at this point I kind of dare him to try. So,
well, you got to be careful. He might just shove that tomahawk up your ass.
Oh, there's no insertion happening at the wrestling show.
Well, I can't speak to that.
Well, I can't, because you're not going to be there.
That's true.
However, if you bring your behind down here, you can do all the craziness you want. Hell, you can start managing me or something.
Well, like I said, we'll be down. I don't think there'll be any wrestling shows going around that time, but we'll be down the end of September. Well, we probably won't see anybody there till probably early October, because we get on the cruise, I think 27th of September, if my memory serves. Probably what I will try to do is I'll try to get together with Mike on the way down. And then when we get back from the cruise, we're going to come down to Northport and stay for a day.
There you go. That works.
And then we'll see what happens there. I might have to sleep on your couch for a night, but
that's fine, man. That's fine.
I'm mostly kidding about that, but we'll see, because her mom's talk because her mom's coming. It's become kind of a big old schmoz, and I'm not sure what we're gonna do about rooms and shit. So, but we'll see.
I got you, man. I got you.
If I had to sleep on somebody's couch, I promise it would only be for a night. But
My couch is pretty comfy, so
your couch is open, as is your anus.
my anus is not open, nor has it ever been.
Well, that's not what I heard, but
Well, you've heard very differently then. Don't make me come beat your ass with a license plate again.
before I let you guys go fishing, because Danny showed up and said he had a tarpon on the hook, I suppose I should tell the story and remind
There
the
you go,
world.
Danny. He's calling you out.
And I wasn't calling out Danny. I said he had a tarpon on the hook, or that's what he said.
Yeah.
But I suppose for the two people listening, I'll tell the story about how you beat my naked ass with a license plate. Or should I save that for next time?
You could do it now if you want.
Nah, I'll wait for next time because it's already 8:03. But I'll just put the teaser out there. At some point in time, my bare naked ass was beaten by a Florida license plate by that gentleman right there.
Yeah, and I may or may not have been drunk at the time.
You may or may not have been drunk, and you may or may not have seen my erect penis.
Well, I have seen. We'll leave the teaser as I did see your erect penis, and it sent me into a rage.
It's
no other
violent rage.
I was set up. I was set up.
You didn't just beat my ass with the license plate. When you bent the license plate on my ass, and you then beat me with a Rubbermaid bin lid, and you may have kicked me a few times. I am not certain.
Probably. Hell, at this point, you might as well just tell the story.
I suppose. So we're hanging out in Bradenton. A friend of ours, Jacob Ford, I'll give him a holler out by name. I was the oldest out of all you guys. You guys were all 18, 19, 20, but I was however much older I am than you. It was 26 or 7 anyway, 25 maybe. I don't remember. But I was the only one old enough to buy alcohol. So Jacob would put everybody up in his apartment because he had a pretty good sized apartment where everybody could do whatever they want to do and not get in trouble. And I would purchase the alcohol for all the underage individuals. And hopefully there's no law enforcement officers listening to this as I speak it. But,
I think the statute of limitations run out though.
I'm sure
we're all old now. I don't think you can just.
Years ago. Well, yeah, I had. Well, Heather may listen to it, but oh well. I'll fucking tell the story anyway. I had that girl I was seeing Sarah with me at the time, and she wanted to get busy or whatever. So we go in there and we go into the extra bedroom, and I was too drunk to perform.
The license plate. Sorry.
I was too drunk to perform, so she went out wrapped in was it a towel or a sheet? I guess it was a sheet.
Probably a sheet. I don't know.
I was drunk as shit, but I remember the events completely. I've never been a blackout guy, so I remember completely. But she comes out and she starts talking to you. He can't get it up. Can you come over here and wake him up? Give him some soda, pep him up some or whatever. So you being you, of course, you basically go, yeah, man, I'll take care of it. So
I thought you had clothes on though. To
whatever you. I understand what you were led to believe, perhaps, or what perhaps you assumed, but that's not what it was. So I swear to God, as drunk as I was, I remember your face. I remember your outstretched arm. I remember absolutely everything with crystal clarity. You go into the fridge and you grab an ice cold Mountain Dew and you barge into the door like the fucking king of cock. And you go, hey man, here's a Mountain Dew. Your lady says, and you didn't get any further words out of your mouth, but you barge in, you've got your arm outstretched with a dew. I'm laying on the floor and I've got a rubber on my dick and it's like half up, half flopped. And like, I remember your eyes just scanning down to me and then scanning down to my dick. And then you flipped out into a violent rage. The first thing you grabbed, the first thing you saw was that license plate. And you started lighting me up on the chest. You were whipping me on my belly. I didn't like that. So I rolled over and I'm just laughing the whole time. And you start whipping me on my bare ass. You bent the shit out of that. So you grabbed a lid off a Rubbermaid bin. You start beating me with that. And I'm laughing my ass up. And again, I think you probably kicked me a couple times. And the funniest part was the funniest part is you just kept on saying, "You're my goddamn brother. I never wanted to see that. I never wanted to see that. I just saw your cock. I saw your cock." And you're like flipping the fuck out. And I'm just laughing. It's one of the best stories ever. I mean, just like complete nonsensical insanity. The only other time I've seen you really flip out that much is when you beat the shit out of what's his name? Marchuk. When you beat the shit out of Marchuk. Was it whose birthday was it that we were in Tampa for? I don't remember.
Joe's.
Joe Daniel?
Yes, Joe Daniel.
Oh, see, it was his birthday. I was before I was really, really tight with him. I had really just met him at that time. But I wasn't even going to go. You pretty much dragged me because I had just broken up with Megan. I was all fucking lovesick and everything else. So, but you were like, "Yeah, man, come on, it'll be good for you. You know, go ahead and get the fuck get out of there." So I brought my rock band kit and everything, and we just fucking drunk like lunatics. And I was drunk as shit. But I'm sitting there. I remember specifically what I was playing. I was playing Rock Band 3, and I was probably trying to do the fucking Devil Went Down to Georgia song.
Oh, yeah.
With poor results. But I'm just sitting there grooving. And I mean, I am just drunk. But I'm relaxed, I'm mellow, I'm playing the game, and I see Marchuk standing there, and he's wobbling, he's got that look on his face. And I remember saying to you, I said, "Hey Bob, your buddy's gonna puke." And you're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's gonna fucking lose it. Get him a bucket." And you went to grab the little black trash can that they have in all the hotel rooms, and you didn't get it there in time, and he puked all over your fucking feet, and you lost your shit on him. I remember he like collapsed on the floor, like sat down, and he's like laying in the corner, and you were kicking him in the fucking head, you were kicking him in the ass, you were kicking him. I mean, you kicked the living shit out of him. And you were saying, you're yelling the same shit at him. "You motherfucker, puked on my fucking feet, you motherfucker." And I remember and I'm sitting there just laughing, watching this. And I remember you dragged his ass into the shower and threw him in there and turned the shower on him. But yeah. I don't remember if you then pissed on him also, because I remember this. We all know it's my modus operandi to get you to piss on somebody or piss in somebody's bottle. So I remember saying, "You know what you should do? You should fucking piss on that motherfucker." And I don't recall if you did or if you were talked out of it by wiser individuals. But anyway, that's
I'm going to say I was probably talked out of it by wiser individuals because I don't remember peeing on him. But I think you tried to talk me into it, as you like to do things. But yeah. I think we were going to drag him into an elevator, too, and I got talked out of that.
I do vaguely recall the elevator thing. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure you were talked out of it.
Someone was the voice of reason twice, and I don't know who that was. Maybe Jason. I don't know.
Well, I know who it was, and I won't say anything more than name, but I'm sure it was Nicole. I'm sure Nicole put the kibosh on that.
Maybe, I don't know, or Stacy.
Yes, it could have been Stacy. Well, I don't know. Stacy might have gone along with that shit.
No, I don't think she would have at the time.
Probably not. But either way, it probably was one of the females.
She was probably trying to calm Jason down at the time. Say, you know, this is your birthday, or no, Joe's birthday, and you're ruining it or something.
Yeah, I vaguely remember something. I vaguely remember that they had a little spat or something like that.
Yeah.
Once you start bringing shit up, I can remember it again. But off the cuff, the only thing I remember is being depressed because I just got dumped, and I remember playing Rock Band and you beating the shit out of Marchuk.
I think that was the same night you made a concoction of like weird shit in the hotel room, and you drank it and you puked off the balcony.
It might have been.
You made you took like hotel shampoo and coffee grinds and all kinds of stuff, and we dared you to like drink it, and you did, and then you end up puking off the balcony.
That sounds like something I would do back then. Although very rarely am I susceptible to a dare. So you must have really pushed the button.
Probably. Much like that time we were throwing beers off the balcony. We were throwing beers off the balcony.
Too. I don't remember that.
We were in Nashville. We were at the La Quinta Inn, and Michael.
Throwing beers off the balcony?
Yes, Michael was. No, some of them were full.
What? Wow,
Yeah, I think Yeah, we were on about. We left the hookah lounge, and Mike was passed out in the bed because he thought it was high from smoking the hookah. And we had
Yeah.
some beer, and I think it turned into, hey, do you think we could reach the pool from here? And we started throwing beers.
I do vaguely remember trying to throw him into the pool. I do vaguely remember that. I
And
also remember us going and getting malt
Steel
liquor.
Reserve. Yeah, that and Steel Reserve, and getting kicked out of a Waffle House.
Yeah, because they had mad. Well, Florida had stopped selling 40-ounce bottles,
Yes,
and you
yeah.
could still go to Kentucky, or not Kentucky, Tennessee, and they still sold 40-ounce bottles. And I'm like, whoa, we can get a 40. We got to get some 40s. So we got Colt 45, we got Mad Dog 2020, we got probably Old English, and probably Steel City Reserve, whatever. And we were pounding those, and we're sitting there hiding behind the dumpster at the Waffle House drinking the shit so the cops can't see us from the road. And then, of course, I remember saying, hey, man, I want to go in there and get a milkshake. And you're like, I don't think they sell milkshakes, man. I'm like, oh, they're going to fucking sell me one.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, and
So I go in there going,
I remember we had Steel Reserve left because I remember we had like 2 cans each, and I had it in the hand, and that's why Waffle House wouldn't let us in because we were clearly intoxicated, and we clearly had alcohol in our hands, and they wouldn't let us in the Waffle House.
yeah, and I stormed in there belligerently demanding a chocolate milkshake that they do not serve nor can they make.
Yeah,
And so we got thrown out. Good times. It's good times.
good times, and then we proceeded to wrestle the next day.
And had the best match on the show.
Yeah, do you know who was on that show that actually is pretty well known now, and he was just starting out?
I don't know.
John Wayne Murdoch was on the show.
Really?
Yeah, I think he wrestled. I don't think he was wrestling as that name at the time. He was wrestling as something else. I can't remember what it was. But I was like looking at different shows because I would try to find matches from that point in time, and some of them are on YouTube, just not our matches. But yeah, the company was called USWO, and I can't remember the guy that ran it.
Tony Falk.
Tony Falk. Yeah. But a lot of his shows are on YouTube, and people will upload some shit every now and then. So I'm hoping that someone will have our match from an off point, and we'll do it. But
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I've noticed that like some of my stuff has disappeared over the years, and it pisses me off because you can download apps and stuff so that you can basically rip videos off of YouTube.
Yeah.
And there was a match from Georgia that I did where it was the same show where John Allen broke my nose. I wrestled twice on that show.
Yeah.
And Marty Jannetty was there. Marty Jannetty cleaned me all up after I got my fucking nose bashed in and bleeding everywhere. And Chick Donovan was there. We were hanging out talking to Chick. But I wrestled this dude named Tank. And it wasn't
not Tank Abrams.
No. The dude's or it might have even been Truck. It was either Tank or Truck. But
I'm thinking it was Truck because I vaguely remember the guy had a weird name. It was like Truck or something.
But it wasn't like a great match or anything like that. But it was just one of those matches where I took so many good bumps, and like it was on YouTube forever. And it's either gone or I lost it or I can't find the name of it or whatever anymore, and it's gone.
You probably just can't find the name of it.
The one that really bums me out is my shit from Puerto Rico, because that was on YouTube for a long time, and I assumed that it was pretty much bulletproof because it was just on there. And I mean, some of that stuff was really good stuff. And I guess the promotion shut down, and they shut down the YouTube channel. It's gone. It's all gone.
Shit, that sucks.
So that sucked. Yeah, that pisses me off.
I should have went on that tour, man. I should have went on that tour.
But c'est la vie, as they say.
Yeah. Different lifetime, and I was just starting a shoot job at that point in time, and I was like, I know I can't get the time off. When in hindsight, I should have just been like, fuck it, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico and work.
Yeah, but like I said, you do what you do. It is what it is.
We would have had some craziness in Puerto Rico. We would have had some crazy people following us around and shit.
It was crazy enough just with who went. I mean, it was who all went anyway. David
John
Mercury
Allen
was there. John Allen was there. Myself, obviously, the James boys.
That was it. I think
that might have been it from our group.
I was supposed to be there, but
Yeah, me and Rich ended up going down because they were hyping us up. We were like, what can you get around here liquor wise that's different? And for whatever reason, they had this stuff called
What's
gasolina.
up?
It's like in a Capri Sun pouch.
No.
But me and Richie went to get some of it, and long story short, we got followed and almost mugged and killed. And I should let you guys
I
go
remember
and do
the
your
story.
fishing though.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. But thanks for coming on. We will do another podcast episode of two Robs walk into a podcast. And maybe
Works
next
for me,
time,
dude.
maybe next time you will be on the video.
Maybe I don't like people seeing me when I'm naked. I
Well,
mean,
that's
unless I
probably a
want them to
good
see me
thing.
when I'm naked. I'm not gonna put clothes on for a podcast. Why the fuck would I do that?
Well, because that's what a decent person would do. Or, I mean, technically, couldn't you just censor yourself like all pixelated, and then you can just do your thing?
That'd be funny. Whack off on the podcast. No one really noticed.
That'd be funny. That would be funny. We could do that. We could do that. We could figure out how to pixelate your naked ass on a podcast. It'll be like
You
the old.
figure out.
It'll be
You
like the
figure out the
old Sims game.
technology.
It'll be like the old Sims games, man. Remember that when the Sims games they
Where
would
they
go
get
on
in the
they would
shower and it blurs out their
yeah
wiener.
they'd go in the shower and they'd blur everything out, or like the guy would go to bed and he would take his pants off and he'd be naked. He'd walk in bed and go to sleep, and it would just be like censorship, or like what was it, WrestleMania 2000 for the Nintendo 64, or No Mercy, where Billy Gunn would pull his pants down and moon you, and his ass would be like all pixelated in a Nintendo 64 game. That's classic shit.
I vaguely remember that now that you mention it.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. But yeah, man, we'll have to do this again. So
I'm good with it, dude. You go have fun with your friends and enjoy your evening.
yep, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We've had a couple people popping in and out and stuff like that, and this will be up on the YouTube channel for people who want to go back and rewatch this wildness. So I'm gonna go off fishing, and Mr. Yago is probably gonna go jack his dick. So,
Yep, I'm due for another.
well, thank you for tuning in, brother. Much love. Thank you for
All right,
joining.
love
Love you, man. We'll do this maybe next week or sometime. We'll do another two Robs walk into a podcast.
I got no life, so let's do it.
All right, sounds good, brother. Have a good one, man.
All right. See ya.
See you. Peace.
Peace.